So, I guess if the offer's shunned, then you just might as well be walking on the sun. So, hey, everybody. How are you? I figured I'm just going to get the quote out of the way first and just take care of it so I don't end up quoting the stupid song through the entire show in my own brain. So I just start off with that. Hey, welcome to the show, everybody. Of course, I'm Dan. Welcome to the show. We're going to talk about the sun again. We got a lot of images. A lot. And it's going to be a lot of fun. First off, did you guys notice we got sub icons in there? Yeah, Real POTUS, thanks for subbing. That's awesome. I put those in today. They're just temporary. I'm still waiting for some good ones from the art team, but I think they look kind of cool, if I do say so myself, which I just did. So there's that. So today, we're talking about the sun again. We're going into
more about the Burning Archipelago.
The Burning Archipelago. I knew that. I was just testing. Good job.
Last time we did like the sun as a whole.
Well, disembodied voice. Let me just go ahead and introduce you. Might as well. Chris Sims is here, everybody. Chris Sims. Chris. Sit down. They're going crazy right now. That happens. I know, me too. Lots of picks. And in fact, we're going to do it a little bit different because there's so many of them. I decided to do it as a slideshow. So there's going to be a little bit of scrolling through some of the images, but it's going to be worth it. I think it's going to be really good because when you first sent me the images, I was like, there's way too many to do in a show.
It's like one every 2 minutes.
Yeah, there's that many, but we can make this work. I think it'll be just fine. So Krob, thanks so much for subbing. That's awesome of you to do. I appreciate that. So according to the message boards, we've already done a show on the sun.
Right.
Why are we doing another show on the sun again?
Because there's a lot of stuff there.
There is a lot of stuff there. And also it doesn't hurt that, Donnaflame is coming out.
Right.
So it gives some good background and all of that sort of thing, I think.
Well, and this is going to be more about what's in Donnaflame in a general sense. So
I agree, 100%.
It's not going to be about what's down in the sun or what could be down in the sun necessarily. But.
Yeah, this is because it's big. The sun is big, everybody. And now, there's some Beatles, Here Comes the Sun, and now that is going to be stuck in my head forever. No. I would sing it, but I would sing it so perfectly that we would get a copyright strike. And so I'm just not going to do it. It's too bad. It's amazing. So let's do this. Let's start off with Donnaflame and all of that sort of thing. A lot of these images are going to be from that AP.
Right, and it's from places that you will actually go in the AP. And also, but no spoilers, really. It's just talking about some of the places that you can go and what they're like.
Okay. So and you kind of jumped in front of my next thing. You didn't subversively give me spoilery stuff that's going to ruin it for all the lovely people out there.
No.
Okay, good. Now I feel pretty good.
At least not for the most part.
Wingbreaker, thank you so much for hosting us. Also, hey, Wingbreaker fans, thanks for joining us. And also, really quick, before we get too far into this, you really should do yourself a favor, and when we're done right here, stay right where you are. Don't go anywhere, because Punch and Crawl is up next, and it's a laugh riot. You'll have a good time. It's full of adventure and fun, and it's got some really, really good people in it. So there you go. Let's start talking about the Burning Archipelago.
Archipelago.
That's what I said. Whatever. It's cool. Let's see. So let's start with just the front. We'll begin at the beginning, if you will.
And this is an image of Asana Town. There's an enclave of Lashuntas on the Burning Archipelago. They formed their own enclave because they have some trouble living near the sun. And what that trouble is that they have a kind of psychic sense of impending doom. So,
oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So a Lashunta that comes to the sun immediately starts to have this psychic resonance that doesn't feel so good. So most of them leave. So in the sun's history, they caused a little bit of trouble based on this on the Burning Archipelago.
Okay.
And when they decided that they wanted to form their own enclave in this bubble that was largely abandoned, everybody said, great, isolate yourselves. But what that means is that the people of Asana Town, the Lashunta enclave, are pretty tough. Like there's a lot of ex-soldiers, a lot of fanatics, a lot of both, people who are both. But
fanatical soldiers.
Yeah. So the worship of sun worship is common on the sun, and the name of the Pact World Sun is a Lashunta name, Mataris. So.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
And there's a temple of Mataris in Asana Town, and there's also a big group of paramilitary soldiers, and some of them are pretty radical.
Okay.
So they cause trouble whenever something they don't like happens, because they have this constant stress, this constant psychic stress.
Okay.
And we kind of built on that in the AP.
Okay. And are they doing it as like a protest thing, or is it like what causes all of that consternation and anger and
that is revealed in the AP.
To be revealed. Sorry.
Sorry. So that's one of the things that we did that we took as a hook from the Pact Worlds book and we used in the AP, which is what we do when we construct these things.
Okay. All right. So. By the way, Jason Bowman, thank you so much for subscribing, my friend. Thank you. All right. Let's see. We've got. Yeah,
you go to a bunch of places. The first one is set mostly in Asana Town.
Okay.
And with some conflict that's going on there. And then the next one, you move on to Corona and the Brass Bazaar, which is what's shown in this image. And we showed this image last time, but I really love this image.
It's a great image. It's kind of like whimsical and fun, and like it's like a moment where they're almost like the very next thing could be like a montage of them trying on different pieces of armor or something like that. You know, it looks very happy.
It also looks like this efreet is like, who is this person? Like,
yeah.
And Devasi's like, hey. But Corona and the Brass Bazaar are pretty interesting because the bubble around Corona doesn't shield it from the sun consistently.
Okay.
So most of the people that live in Corona are resistant to that type of thing. So you have a lot of fire beings like the Ifrits and salamanders and azers and stuff like that. Stuff that people who are familiar with Pathfinder will be familiar with. But the cool thing is, or maybe it's not so cool, is that you can just run into like a radiation leak, or you know, something next to you catches on fire, or
right. Which that would be a little unsettling. I'm relatively sure. And then I assume that they're kind of like with dead suns. There are areas where when you go, there are rules set up to being, well, if you're out here and you're exposed to the elements, then there's so many things you can do, making saves and stuff like that. I assume on the sun there's that similar situation. If you're in a certain area, there's some saves that you need to make.
And you might want to have your environmental protections turned on in your armor. But
yeah, or as Reynard Wolf is saying, SPF 10 to the power of the 23rd or bust.
That was going to be the title to our final AP volume.
Oh man, spoilers.
But they wouldn't let us do it. Another thing about the Corona and the Brass Bazaar is that it's more or less controlled anarchy ruled by merchants and the powerful. So powerful merchants and criminals. Mm-hmm. So
it's like a black market.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or a black market, a gray market, and a white market.
Oh, it's all there.
Yeah, it's all there. Yeah. So
all the
next
colors of the
image shows. It's another image from Corona. The reason that all these sheets are up is because it's shielding it from the heat that gets through anyway. Corona has an average temperature of about 100 degrees Fahrenheit.
Oh, wow.
So
okay.
It's not very comfortable for, somebody like me, for example.
Yeah.
That's well insulated. But
all I'm thinking about right now, this is very noodly to me, like for like from Blade Runner, like the noodle shop.
Yeah.
Wing Break, the ramen shop. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And I feel like, it's a really, it's just so iconic, I guess, to me. Like it just looks like a far off alien place for some reason. But the image, the art is just really capturing all of that perfectly.
Yeah,
so.
And the AP plays on that too because you get to interact with some of this stuff. And there's an entire article in the second volume that supports the Brass Bazaar and the merchants there. So it's pretty fun.
Yeah, it's awesome.
And it has some new equipment in it.
Let's see. What do we got? Oh, this is some fauna. No, flora.
Flora.
Yes.
So yeah.
I get them confused all the time.
So in the third volume, you get to go to a place called Verdion.
Okay.
Which is a bubble that's full of plant life and open green space, but it's also got a lot of places called pleasure domes.
Okay.
Which are basically like casinos and spas and stuff like that. But there are xenodruids that live in Verdion that want to propagate all the plant life in the galaxy in Verdion. And this image actually includes a dangerous plant.
Hidden in plain sight?
Hidden in plain sight.
Really?
A plant that could kill you.
Well,
that is the void palm.
The void palm.
Yep.
All right. I'm not even going to make a joke about that. I think that so in the chat, let's see, where did it go? Reynard Wolf is saying Castrovel fly traps. But yeah, I mean, just look at those plants. They don't look safe necessarily.
No, and the void palm can use gravity and darkness against you.
Of course it can. Why not?
But also in Verdion, there's these gardens are on floating platforms that move around the dome. So that's kind of cool. And,
oh, nice.
And that's in some aspect of that is in the third volume where you have to deal with this type of thing and the moving platforms and stuff like that.
Okay.
Maybe there's a car chase. I don't know.
I love a good old-fashioned car chase, especially when you're on the sun. Mm-hmm. You're going to not have a car chase? Come on. All right, let's see. Let's go
to the next image, which is a casino, I think.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, the casino.
So the casino with the Skittermander dealer. So Verdion has a lot of casinos, but most of those casinos are actually run by organized crime.
Of course.
Of course.
Yeah.
Because why wouldn't they be? It's more exciting if it is. So in the third volume, you spend a decent amount of time in a casino. There are Skittermander dealers for the card tables, and it's pretty fun. You need to deal with the criminal cartels there in some way too. So
all right.
So we try. The reason I'm bringing all of this up is because this AP lets you explore the archipelago and the sun. It's not just going into the sun.
Right.
So
right.
There are many parts of the Burning Archipelago that are detailed.
I see.
That you get to explore.
And you get to kind of enjoy all of these. I would imagine you don't necessarily have to go visit all of them, but you have the opportunity to do so.
And the articles in the AP expand on these areas and how you travel around the Burning Archipelago, and what the religion is like, and stuff like that. So
okay, all right. And you've already given a spoiler when it comes to traveling. Obviously, car chases. So we already know that.
Maybe they're motorcycles. Maybe they're trucks. I don't know.
Motorcycles. I like a sun motorcycle. I like it. A sun cycle.
A sun cycle.
It's too obvious of a portmanteau. I can't do that. All right. Let's see. So that's the casino. From there, we move on to.
What do we move on to? This is Stella Cunha, and it also shows one of the NPCs that's prominent throughout the AP, which is this little Yosoki in the pink suit.
Yeah.
And her name is Nib, and you meet her in the first AP volume.
Oh, that's awesome.
And she is kind of there throughout the arc, which is pretty cool. And this is like a hospital facade. And,
I gotcha.
And Altronus and Navasi are going with Nib to this place. So, and this shows what I guess the people of the Pact Worlds have added to the Burning Archipelago. Mm-hmm. So this building is something that wasn't there before the people of the Pact Worlds.
Okay, so it's one of the newer, it's new sun.
Yeah.
Okay, I like that. And then roughly how big, with the new development stuff that has come in, like how much percentage-wise would it have expanded? Like, did it double in size with all of the new stuff, or is it just a little
it
fraction?
Probably tripled in size.
Oh, so it's significant amount of growth.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. Let's see, what do we have next here? Oh yeah, I like this one.
So, all I really wanted, the reason I added this is because when we were creating APs, we try to think about different themes, and one of the APs deals with darkness. Mm-hmm. And so the sun is light and life, and what's the opposite of that? Well, darkness and death. So And this is an image of the Sonship and Navasi and Isef. And is it that Quig? I can't tell.
I can't, from way back here, I can't tell.
Getting off of the ship in this strange dark place that's in the sun. But another reason I included this is because, going into the sun, you have to have places that you can actually explore. Like, it doesn't matter how good your environmental protections are. You can't just get outside in the sun. And anyway, there's nothing there to see.
Right. You got to strike off at some point.
Yeah, you got to find
go out there
interesting
and explore.
places. Yeah.
Okay. All right. I like that. And I just like that image.
It's really nice light and stuff like that.
Yeah, and Laura, you're right. It just looks like they're off to find like an alien egg, or it just looks so ominous when when you're going through like that spotlight and the smoke. Such a good image. Let's see.
What's the next one?
Oh, looks like some kind of little winged fight.
This is the introduction to the creature section. So this is Riya and Kiska fighting mephits. So we had the opportunity to do a lot of new creatures. We imported some from Pathfinder and made up some new ones, but we made up some new mephits. Crystal Fraser actually made up the mephits for Starfinder. And
really? Yeah, that's
we
awesome.
Didn't just import Pathfinder mephits. There are some brand new mephits.
They have all new features about them.
Like the tech method.
Lori's asking if one of them is puking.
Yeah, they're all eventually puke. That's what methods do.
that's it, no matter what, it all boils down to just puking bats.
But he's puking lava, so that's
that is significant, I think.
Yeah.
All right, so we've got puking bats,
and well, mephits are like little people. I mean, they're mischievous little imp-like creatures that are elemental.
Hang on a second. King Sofa, seriously, do not watch the stream while you're driving. Please don't do that. That's not safe. Don't. Audio maybe, but don't watch the stream. That's not cool, man. Like, I don't know, it's dangerous. So just don't. We'd hate to have bad news flying through the chat at some point. So just listen. Don't watch the stream, please. All right. Anyway,
you can watch it later on YouTube.
Yeah, it's on VOD. You can watch us later.
One of the things that was cool about making up these creatures, though, is that we were able to like include. So we wanted to include the efreet. So we said, why not include all the genies?
Yeah.
So through the creatures in this AP, you get the Djinn, and that's what this is an image of. That's from
such a good image.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In Pathfinder, the image of the genie is this kind of big hulking dude, that looks kind of mean, and I wanted to capture like the whimsical nature of the Djinn.
Yeah, yeah.
Because they're very friendly. Actually, they like people.
It is a great expression that they've put on the face and everything like that.
Mm-hmm.
I think it looks awesome, and it also kind of looks like instead of just being a big hulky push you over type of Djinn, that maybe there's some like subtlety and some flash in there where maybe you could get tricked very easily because they're more cunning,
Yeah, so. And that's one of my favorite parts of the job is I get to order the art. So
one
of the reasons that art looks the way it does is because I asked for it to be that way.
Yeah.
And I wanted a kind of a counterpoint to that big, kind of hulking, mean-looking dude in Pathfinder.
Yeah, it is a really good image. I really dig that one.
I think the next one is one of the Jani.
Jani?
Yeah.
Jani.
Yeah.
All right.
And this is like a mixture of the elements, more or less.
Okay.
And they're also the least powerful. But they're the ones that interact the most with people.
Oh, okay. So they're kind of the face, the front end.
And they're really common in Corona on the Burning Archipelago in the Brass Bazaar.
Oh, okay.
So, because they love to interact with people and they love to sell things and to feel like they mentally did better than their customer.
So what you're saying is when the PCs arrive at Agrabah, that they're going to run into those.
Yeah,
they're
Jannies. Definitely going to run into some.
All right. Let's see. Let's go. Ready for the next one?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
This is the Shaitan.
The Shaitan.
Yeah. These are earth genies, and they are quite powerful. And they also are allied with the efreet in a lot of ways. And we played on that in this AP, and did the Shaitan in the Alien Archives. But we also did all of the planner scions, which are the more humanoid creatures that are elemental blooded.
Okay.
So they're related to genies sometimes. And we actually have an image of one of those too.
Oh, good. Okay. In the chat, someone's asking, will there be playable race genies?
There are planner scions. So Ifrit.
Oh, yeah. That's
Ifrits, Oreads, Sylphs.
Ifrit? I always say Efreet. Is that wrong? That's wrong?
No. So they're.
Oh, are those two different things?
Those two different things. Yeah.
I can't even act like I knew that anymore. I had no idea. Okay. Efreet and Efrit.
Yeah.
Okay. But they are playable?
Yes, they are.
Oh, nice. That's awesome. Let's see. And yeah, that is just it's a tough looking character right there. That's awesome.
And they're very tough. That's an Azer. So that is a kind of a fiery dwarf.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
They're the foot soldiers of the Efreet.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. So when they get a whole army together, they're coming to march out.
And the Efreet aren't very friendly to the Azers. They usually conscript them. They don't hire them.
Oh, I see.
So, but Azers are lawful. So usually they are raised as soldiers by the Efreet, and they feel loyal to the Efreet despite the fact that they don't have any choice in the matter.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, it's actually sad when you start to break that relationship down.
It's kind of sad, and the free Azers do not appreciate that relationship at all.
Yeah, yeah.
So
that's too bad. Topper, how are you, buddy? Thanks for joining us. Let's see. Let's go back and let's do the next one.
I think we have. Oh, that's just an image of a really cool image of a mephit.
Okay. All right.
So this shows you that they look like little imps. This is a steam mephit.
Uh-huh. Should this be smaller if, like, with the size scale that we've been looking at everything else?
Well, yeah, I mean, this is probably the size of a 3-year-old.
So it is way too big in this.
Well, I mean, I don't think that we didn't say to scale.
No,
right?
it's not to scale. It's not to scale to the other images, though. That might be important to keep in mind.
So most of the genies are large in their normal form, but most of them can also change size to be medium if they want to. So, and Azers are dwarf sized, so medium-ish.
Right.
But mephits are small. But the mephits were shown in that earlier opening image. You know, compared to humans, they're smaller than humans.
Yeah. Okay, perfect. And just to be fair, there's actually a lot of detail that got left off of this when I tried to put it on a transparency. The background and parts that are swirling off of it that you can't see really help make the picture. But they didn't make it through the process of making this into a transparency.
Well, what I love about this little guy is that he's made of water, but he has like this burning heart of fire.
Yeah, so, I love that. That is really cool. So
that's what a steam mephit is supposed to look like. So
all right.
Cool.
So it's like a flaming heart, and then the rest of it's just steam coming off of it. Oh, it's pretty awesome.
Yep.
That's the thing. The flavor, all of that stuff that comes through the artwork, really helps build everything and make it that much better. You know what I mean? It's crazy the story that you get just from looking at some of the art pieces that we have.
And I'm really happy with the art in this AP. It's really good.
Yeah.
The artists have really knocked it out of the park.
Hillary, welcome to the show. Sorry you can't stay. Sorry I got so late on the message boards to put this one up, but it's been a really, really crazy week so far. So, but thanks for joining us for just a little bit.
We missed 2 days.
Yeah, I know. And we're going to talk more about that at the end, too, because I've got some more news about that.
Okay.
All right, so let's go.
I think the next one is an Efrit. Yep. So this is fire-blooded humanoid, and they play a prominent role in the AP, too, but you also get playable stats for this guy.
Oh, really?
So
playable?
These guys are playable, and so are Sylphs and Oreads.
Oh,
Undines.
cool. Okay.
So all of those things are going to have playable statistics to go with them.
I love it. I love that so much.
So I think that's 5 Sylphs, Undine, Oread, Ifrit, and Suli.
Okay. So you have a wide variety there that you can choose from, and they all have different powers isn't the right word, but stats and things like that. That's perfect.
Abilities, yeah.
I love that. Let's see. What do we have next? Oh yeah, this
is one of the new species that. So we really wanted to introduce new species too. I mean, in every AP we want to do that. So. This is one of the new species. They're called the Anasanoi.
The Anasanoi.
Yeah.
Okay.
And, you meet them at some point, but they also have playable statistics, and that will enable you to play one if you want to at some point.
Really?
After the AP, I guess.
You know, I gotta say, I'm sure it gets said quite a bit, but I don't feel like it gets mentioned nearly enough. That the idea of, you know, when Starfinder first came about was the cantina culture of, like, you know, there's basically a lot of creatures. Hang on. There we go. Sorry, I'm stepping on my wire again. I always do that. Where there's a lot of creatures, and you can just have this whole community of playable, ancestries that are just there to play. And you guys, your team is really nailing it. Like, it's doing a really good job bringing out all of these different playable creatures, and, you know, half of these have stat blocks, and you throw them all in a book, and it's like, oh, these are all playable now, you know.
Yeah, you want to play a sapient sea anemone? Go for it.
Why wouldn't you? But I was listening to because Androids and Aliens just came out. I just started listening to it today. Downloaded it last night, I think, and I was walking to work to the carpool, and I think at the beginning Troy was like, who's making characters from the core rulebook anymore? It's like, we've moved on from that. Like, we're ready to go, you know? And it's so true. It's incredibly true that there's just so much to play. And then you bring something like this out, and it's like, oh yeah, I can play that if I want to.
Well, and I mean, this creature looks so cool. And you probably think that these two lines down the bottom of the face is its nose.
Right.
But it's not. It has two mouths.
Of course it has two mouths.
Of course it does.
Does that mean that you can actually communicate as a free action to two different PCs at the same time?
No.
Oh, man. Well, what good is two mouths then? Come on.
You can eat and
talk?
chew gum at the same time.
You can eat and chew gum at the same time.
You can
That's
talk
awesome.
and eat at the same time. I don't know. But
Twice the talking. That's where I go too. Dog Days is saying the same thing. It's all about talking more. But yeah, also eating while speaking. Lori, you guys are right. That's pretty good talent, I guess.
How could you would be talking over yourself?
Yeah. Well, no, because they're on different sides, right? It's like I don't know. Maybe ventriloquism is thrown in there so you can throw your voice. All right, never mind. I'm wrong. So you can eat two different things. You can have mashed potatoes and steak at the same time, but through different mouths. I don't know. I guess you could do that anyway. All right, that's fine. What's the next creature?
What is the next creature?
It is this thing. Look at that. That's awesome.
This guy is tiny too. So this is called it's a protean, which are the creatures from the Maelstrom. But this little guy is chaos embodied, and how he is born, or how it is born actually, is it can be born accidentally when you leave drift space.
Wait, okay. How? What?
Just because if your drift engine is malfunctioning, or any type of magic is malfunctioning around a drift engine, one of these little guys can just spontaneously erupt into existence.
Why not? Why not? I mean, sure.
Little tricksters.
I think, yeah, I think the chat is falling right in line with my thinking to it. I think he's kind of cute.
That's why I included him, because my God, how cute is that little guy?
He's got the googly eyes happening and everything, and
he looks so happy.
and Lori's saying, it's like he's saying, "Kiss my hand." It's like, yeah, come on.
But look at he's got his little hands together too, like
yeah,
like he's plotting something.
I like it. I think it's pretty cool. Yeah. How big are these things?
They're probably the size of a ferret.
They're
super tiny. They're
that. I want one. That would be awesome.
Yeah, and this is what they look like. This is their natural form, but they're so made of chaos that they don't maintain that form. They can be anything at any time.
Oh wait, okay. So this is like a temporary thing. It's like, it looks like this now,
Yeah, and it will look like this intermittently, but it could be a floating snowball, a scattered
so awesome.
hologram. You know,
that's cool. That's really cool. All right, and I think we're on the last image, which is good because we're actually running over.
Oh, are we?
Yeah. And
so this last image is just about variants.
Okay.
So we have a lot of cool ways in Starfinder where you can vary the creatures that you use. Mm-hmm. And this, for example, is a mountain eel. Somebody who has Alien Archive would recognize a mountain eel, but that's not what a mountain eel looks like in the Alien Archive. A mountain eel in the Alien Archive is green and bluish. Nice. And this is a kind of a solar adapted mountain eel that is the pet of some cultists. So that's why it's got this weird symbol on it,
right?
Carved on it. So, and you can kind of play with the idea of genetic engineering and stuff in Starfinder, you know, and so you don't have to use the monster just as it is. So, yeah. And I thought this image was super cool, so I wanted to show it.
They're saying it's a Cosmic Crit is saying it's a sun mountain eel.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. I like it. Let's see. Anything we didn't cover yet? We're done with images. That was a lot of images.
That was a lot of images.
I think that we set the record for the most images in 1.5 hour long show.
I'll rein it in next time.
No, please. It made me find a new way to do things, and that worked out pretty well. It was a little annoying in some areas, and I'm sorry about that, but I think I can get it down with some practice and stuff like that. I think it'll only get better. Cool. All right, well, let me do a goodbye, and then we'll do some Q&A after that. All right?
Sounds good.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. I hope you liked the video. If you did, hit a like button down there, and maybe consider following us and on YouTube. It'd be great. If you have an encounter that happened to you and your party on the sun, put it down in the comments down there, and I'll take some of the best ones and I'll show them to Chris, and we'll laugh and reminisce about how awesome your comment was. And in the meantime, for Paizo and for Chris over here, and for me, I'm your old buddy Dan. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you again next time. Bye.
Bye.